Hi, and welcome to our class for learning how to make money as a graphic publisher. And my name is Marilen Crump. I am your facilitator, and thanks, Gregor, for joining us today. Anybody watching this replay, we have different classes coming up, and you can always join live like Gregor's doing, or you can watch it like you're doing at your own leisure. So today's goal is there's certain tools that I'm going to show you that you can actually create with. If you're like, I'm not even a graphics person, I don't even know why I'm watching this one. It doesn't matter, because I want to teach you that it's actually pretty simple and that you can actually use these own tools for yourself. And when you're building your business, or if you're just kind of using it for fun, maybe you're going to publish some stuff for your children. There's all these really cool things you can do with this type of lesson. And of course, how can you use these lessons to create another income stream in your life so that you become more empowered as far as earning money goes. All right, so we'll get started first. I'm going to show you my screen. And I have already pulled up my Canva. All right, this lesson is going to be very heavy on Canva because I've tested so many other different softwares and platforms. I just find Canva to be very robust, and they have amazing templates, so it makes the job easier for you instead of trying to create everything from scratch. So notice that if you're in Canva, I'm not sure if everybody sees what I will see here, because I have the paid version, and I believe that it's one of the best values that I've ever purchased, and I will continue to purchase it as long as they have all these amazing stuff in it. They already have things pre-laid out here, infographics, those are pretty fun, and you have Facebook posts, Christmas flyers, and seasonal things that they'll post out there. So I feel like their team is really good as far as keeping up with trends and even creating trends. And there's all these different types of things that you can do. When you purchase the paid, you could also store all of your creations. So if you look at mine, I have so many things in here, and it helps me really brand the different things that I'm doing. So for yourself, we want to make sure that you do have the right tools to create a business out of. And to me, this overhead is very low in comparison to starting any other business. So if you're thinking about doing this type of stuff, it's not that expensive to do it. Before, you would have to pay for Photoshop, etc., and it would cost a lot of money for the Adobe platform. And this one, to me, is just so good. And we'll get started here and showing you some different ways to get moving on this. One thing that you always ask when you're trying to earn income from anything is, who will be the purchaser? Now, a lot of times, especially near the beginning of the year, or people are assessing their life, they're going to need help with their resume. And it's really cool that Gregor's on here with me, because let me stop share for a second. So I used to work in college for our career services department. That was one of my on-campus jobs. And Gregor was my roommate in college. And one of the things, did you work in career services as well, Gregor?
Alumni office.
Alumni office, okay. Well, in career services, we would help students build their resume. And to this day, resumes haven't changed that much. People still want a physical representation of all the things that you've done. And so let's say if you're a graphic publisher, or desktop publisher as it used to be called, or some people probably still call that could be a good place for you to start, because people need help with their resume. Now, if you look here, if you Google resume, you have so many examples, right? But what I find is that nowadays, people want to see something a little bit different. So let's go to more images. So notice that there's all these resumes out here. People are posting their resumes. I love this resume. Isn't that beautiful? Her resume has all the colors and it's really eye-grabbing, and I haven't read what's in it, but it just stands out to me compared to if you looked at the other resumes, the sea of gray that you see here. Okay, so if let's say somebody really wants to stand out, you can say, all right, let me help Ebony more with her resume. Okay, well, what's nice about Canva is when you go into here, templates, there's actually templates for resumes as well. So you can also search, use the search bar. I'm going to put resume in the search bar. And there you go. So they're going to show you all these resume templates. And look how beautiful they are. They're colorful and they really grab people's attention. And so if you have somebody who's like, you know, I've been struggling to find a job, you can say, you know, let me take a look at your resume. Can I take a, you know, take it and help you really make it pop and make it stand out some more. So when you go to your interview, you feel very confident about having this resume. And to me, for something like that kind of service, charge between $25 to $35 just for each page, okay? They already have the information, which is great. Now, if you end up giving them more help as far as even editing what they wrote, like if you feel like, all right, you need a little bit more help, but if you have that skill set, you can definitely add more to the value if that is the case. But to me, if you're just really helping with the layout, just something nominal. That way you get started and people can say, hey, she really did a good job converting my plain resume into this really nice, colorful one. And this one makes sense too. Look at this. For her, she's a photographer. So it makes sense to have these different things and having a graphic. Maybe if they have their own photo or picture that they've taken, you can add it to the resume. And isn't this neat? It's already there. So all you have to do is plug and play. Now, some people, they could learn this on their own, but half the time they're not as well versed in these different things, or they don't have the time to do it. So you can definitely offer that. All right, so that would be one kind of area. And you know what we're going to do is we're going to use our Canva to say, okay, so areas, so you can even convert it into a nice sheet. So areas of income, and we're going to say for graphic publishing. So that's really nice. When you already have a template, you can click on something. You saw me resize that, and then boom, you've just made it your own. Now, if you want to change a picture in Canva, just click the actual thing in the template that is a picture, go to photos, and I'm just going to select winter, see what comes up here. So that's pretty cute. Oops, I'm going to replace that one. So you drag it into there, and notice there it is. It pops in there. Now, you can change the text color by clicking the text, and then that way it's readable. And it's pretty fun because that's all you need to do. If you need to shift it around, I'm going to double click in this box, and I can see kind of like the whole canvas that they have here. We'll keep with the winter theme. You can resize from the toggles in the corner, and then easier to read in there. I'm going to make this part bold, double click, and highlight everything, make it bold. All right, perfect. So here we are. So when you see things like this, they're grouped together. So you can ungroup them if you don't want it to be stuck together like that anymore. Notice that now I can highlight each thing. This one's grouped together. So here, when I put my mouse over it, everything's highlighted. Here, different pieces are highlighted. I can regroup it by selecting all of those pieces, hitting group, and now they're back to grouped. I like Canva because it'll snap it into place. See these lines that appear when I move things? It'll snap, and it makes aligning things much better instead of trying to eyeball it all the time. You know that it really fits in the same alignment as the stuff around it. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to say I'm going to ungroup it so it's easier for me to modify it. I'm going to put areas suggestion. So suggested areas of focus. A little big, so that works okay, but you can also, I'm going to take the spacing, I'm going to hit spacing up here. The top parts will squish the letters together. Isn't that fun? Or widen them, squish it together or widen them. I'm just going to do a little bit of a squish so that I can fit it inside that line. So it looks much better in my opinion. And when you have multiple lines, you can kind of like squish it. Or, so I'm going to hit spacing again. This is line height, so I can spread it out this way or that way. If you want to go back to where it's supposed to be, then it goes here. Now if you're like, oh, I did it, but then I look at it, I don't like it, hit the undo button at the very top. So undo and it goes back to where it was. So these bullet points, I'm going to take advantage that they're already there. I'm going to put resume revamp. So you can offer resume revamping services, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and give it a pricing so that when you look at this later, you can say, oh, okay, Marilen did say I can charge between $25 to $35 suggested. Okay, so there we go. You can look at it bigger if it's too small. I know with resumes, they're trying to fit it all in here. So this is probably a pretty small font size. Let me check 10. See, so if I go to 10, it makes it a little bit bigger. So now I'm like, oh, they're all too small. If you don't ungroup, it's okay. You can still edit within there. What I did was I double clicked my mouse and it highlighted everything. If I move it to 10, then everything starts, at least on this side of it, having that consistency. You can also find the end of the area and drag your mouse to highlight everything. And then while everything's selected, you can make different changes as you need to. Because sometimes, like if I'm here because of all these bullet points, I can't do my double click to select it all. So I'm going to have to use that mouse drag to get me there. All right, so that's pretty fun. Okay, so now I'm kind of using this as my new template for this class that I'm teaching you. So isn't that fun? I can expand this as well, or I can shrink it. I'm going to do that and then pull from the corner because that little area was bugging me. Okay. You can get as nitpicky as you like. It's your document. All right, so here we are. Suggested area of focus, resume revamp. Another thing you can do is, what I find with people is that their Facebooks don't have a lot of pizzazz either. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Facebook. I'm gonna search, let's just say, who could I help? I'm trying to think like, who might need me? Well, let's look up like normal people who probably don't have a lot of, so let's look at Larry's Plumbing. If you know Larry's Plumbing, I'm sure they're cool. So let's just see what they got going. Oh, I like it. Looks pretty good. Looks nice. Very nice. Okay. But they don't have a round logo. So you can say, hey, Larry's Plumbing. Wouldn't it be great if everything fit in that for you? So you can help people like resize and redo. And you could say, hey, you know, I'm doing this for free just in case you need somebody later. Just wanted to show you what I can do. And I like that they put different things already, but what is this? Oh, options are popping up from Facebook. All right, here we go. That looks cute. So we're good with that, Larry's Plumbing. You're good. But other than the fact that I see that this should be a circle one, theirs is pretty nice. All right, so let's see. Plumber near me. Plumber's near me. So what's great about Facebook that it's become this search engine as well. So you can definitely kind of see like what other businesses are there. I'm just picking that because they tend to have like a lot of advertising money for services. So you think about, okay, who has a service? Maybe they're going to be a new company, and you can say, hey, you know, we can do certain things like this. Now, see this video on here? What's great about Canva is we can actually do videos now. We can edit videos in Canva. So let's work on that. So I'm going to go to the templates. I'm going to close out that resume. You can also pull down stuff. So I'm seeing here, boom. Let's go back to home. I'm going to create a design. I'm going to look for Facebook. So you can use either Facebook ad or event. They're kind of the same size. Sometimes I find that it's not always accurate depending on like the display of the screen for Facebook. So I've been using the bigger one because I can always slide it around. So let's use the Facebook ad. Now what's fun about Canva now is when you click on videos on your left-hand side, they give you some things already. So let's say you want to design a fun video for a business or for yourself that you can use for your Facebook. And notice that I can even drag the size of the video. So we can make the video the full part of the background, or we can make it like smaller so that it only covers like a specific little bit of an area. And we're gonna, for this example, let's go ahead and drag it open. And you can add different things on top. So if I take elements, and let's say I want something that says winter, since we're kind of on this winter theme. I'm gonna hit free. I always want to see like what's free first before I buy it. Ooh, I like these little holly leaves. So I'm gonna stick a holly leaf here. I'm gonna stick a snowflake up here in this corner. Notice that I'm just really clicking and it's already kind of popping up on there, and I can resize them as I need to. And isn't that great? So you're kind of just adding fun little stuff. And it's not like I have to like dig in another program. Before it was like you have to find it, do Google search, find your stuff, and then come back to your program, upload it. What's great about Canva is it's all in here. So fun, 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 yay. Looking nice. So, and if you want to say, hey, what's that looking like with the video now? If you click play, that's what it looks like. And so I'm gonna just add some text. We're gonna say, there's some really fun here. So one already says, have a happy Kwanzaa. Cool. Let's say that. And you can tilt it. And then with these texts, you can always change the font colors. Let's make it, if you don't see the colors you want, click up top the plus sign, and you can slide, find different colors that work. Okay, so let's do with that mint green. Expand it a little bit more. Fun stuff. And when you go to save this, you want to save it as a download, and then it would already kind of show you file type is video. It'll download as an MP4 right there. So if you do the pull down, you can do that. Now, if you don't save it that way, it's not going to be a video file. It'll just be a static PNG, which is an image file. You can do it a JPEG. A JPEG is what you can use to print photos through a lab. PNG you can also print through a printer. They have different kind of file uses. So to me, if it's going to be a picture, use the JPEG if you're going to print it to put in a frame. PNG for displaying on the internet. If you're going to be using it as a PDF, you have these other options as well. Animation, it'll save it, but it's going to be a little bit more blurry in a way. So a GIF is those things that you see and they sometimes just move one or two ways. It's not meant for like super big transitions or smoother transitions. You want your video for that. So MP4 is what you do, and you can hit download, and then your file will be saved. So I'll show you one that I made for my own business, one of it where I teach photography. So if I go to VA, EC photography classes and workshops, we'll click there. Notice I made a logo that fits really nicely in the round portion, and then here's a video with the logo on it, and it's moving. It looks super cool, right? So I'm going to unmute Gregor. Gregor, what do you think of this banner on Facebook?
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's eye-catching, and it's inviting as well. And to me, it really helps boost the brand. And so that's what you want to do. With anybody you're helping with, you can say, hey, wouldn't we want your dancers to be moving around? So let's see, like, maybe some area dance studios here. So we'll just say dance studio. Okay, so there's a Country Bootleggers dance studio, and I know them personally. They teach dance. So wouldn't it be fun to have like little dancing feet moving around, or a video of one of their classes? This is fun that it's a picture of people that come to dance. But let's say it's this here. Okay. It's a little bit clip arty, from the past. And the size is okay, but if I'm looking at this on my phone, I might not be able to really, really read this. So I can say, hey, Country Bootleggers, would you really want some help revamping this and maybe make it more eye-catching and inviting, so that it's more professional looking. And I also notice, here's just a business side note. I'm noticing like it's a pretty amazing deal, $3, $5 to go dance. That's awesome. However, I feel like if they're the only ones really doing it these days, they need to bump up that price. So side note, if you, sorry to make it more expensive if if someone wants to go out and dance there. But I'm just saying, like, I think it will resonate more, and then higher levels of demographics would want to come there. I'm just saying, if it looks like a certain way and then the pricing's low, then think about that brand. Like, what demographic are they going for? And that could be just fine for them. I'm not saying anything here or there, but if you're trying to look at this and say, I need a lesson in how do I boost my brand so that it's more of a higher end and I can get more attention to it. So this was posted December 4th, and there's been no likes, no shares. Okay, so that shows me something as well. Like, no one's resonating with this particular ad, and it really needs to be improved. So that could be kind of like, I'm going to put that in my list. So let's go back to the list we were doing. So I would say any creative field should have creative marketing. So that to me would be like, all right, who are in my area that teaches creative stuff, and how can I really help them? And it's all about that spirit of helping. So I'm going to say creative businesses need help. So I'm going to put in parentheses like a dance studio. I mean, I'd be surprised if an art gallery didn't have it together, but let's check it out, right? So I'm always like, I'm going to research and hunt. So say art gallery. Let's see what pops up. So I know PFAC is like a big one. Say gallery at the Chapman. Okay, that looks good. Although this one's a little bit tough to read. Okay, this one needs a little help. It hadn't been updated since 2014, so maybe someone's like, oh, they've been closed. Okay, no worries. But we can kind of say, hey, who's in there? So this one's open now. So Cobalt, a space for art. This looks fun. I love collages. I think they're making a statement with the blue, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so they're okay. Let's see. Let's say we'll say daycare. Daycares want to attract really good people. Let's see. A+ Learning Center, probably a franchise, but not a lot of people like it yet. But they've been around for 2012. Okay, so you can say maybe they might need help, somebody to keep things like vibrant. So you can say, hey, I'd love to come up with some seasonal things that you can post on your Facebook, because I noticed that you only have a little bit of people, and engagement is good for you to help market. So we can say, do y'all need help? Because more than usual, no one has the staff to do this, right? So you kind of say, looks like they're trying to post. I mean, they had a post November 20th, and then before that was October 27th, and then before that was September, and then before that was like a whole year ago. Okay, so you can kind of say someone was on it, and then now they're not. Like someone was helping a lot, and now someone's not. So you could say, hey, that's kind of a cry for help. Let me see if I can help them out. All right, so because the whole goal here too is you can also start looking into creating an agency. And even if you yourself, or you're like, well, I never thought of myself as an agency. Let's see, I'm going to say daycare. We're going to say also say children services. Okay. Say, okay, Marilen, like, I don't know if that would be, I've never had that kind of background to run an agency or anything. Well, no one's really had that background before either. Like there didn't used to be a Facebook, there didn't used to be an Instagram, all these things, but now people are seeing that, hey, this is a good way to start really publicizing what our business is about and what we can do, so that, you know, we are spending less on marketing and that this is actually more effective if done right. So as you're taking these classes, as you're learning all these things that I'm giving to you, it might empower you to create other businesses. And you might get together with other women and say, hey, how can we start our own like agency? Like, well, we can start at small scale, things like that. To me, you can have more than one love and passion out there. And especially if it's easy and simple. And I'm not saying that everything's so easy that as soon as I throw this out to you, you're going to be able to like make money off of it tomorrow. I mean, there's things that you're going to learn as far as how to sell yourself better. So if you say, all right, I'm going to start my own agency, then where do you start? Well, I'm going to start with publishing and doing my own stuff, right? So you can say, all right, well, background. Okay, so we're going to say experience background. So we can start with your own marketing and publishing. We want you to have something to show for it. So say build a portfolio in a week. What? Yes, in 1 week. Let's move fast, people. Okay, Marilen, what are you talking about? Build your own portfolio in a week. I would say if I had to start from scratch and say, look, nothing's working for me right now. I need to make money. What can I do? I'm going to give you a short, easy business plan right now. And then you can go, all right, let's see if I can do it. All right, so build your portfolio in a week. So give yourself color scheme and logo and font kind of, choice. Then that could be consistent for everything. Then you want to grab different sample stuff. So make up businesses in your mind and mock up. So we're going to say mock-ups of different samples. And if my mock-up is, okay, I'm going to show you like 5 examples, I think 5 to 10 examples of each thing, 5 to 10 of each type. So I'm going to say 5 Facebook banners, 5 Instagram posts, all these things have some different mock-ups. And then here's what we're going to say. What do you mean mock-up? All right, I'm going to go back to Canva. Let's create a poster. So let's go with flyer, okay? Now within this flyer, I'm going to design a couple of things in the flyer. And remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause, stretch, think about it, and then come back. All right, so I'm gonna create, I'm gonna create my own look thing for let's see here. Let's grab something. Let's put a text down. I'm going to add a heading. Make sure I can read it. Keep it color black. Drag the heading up here. I'm going to say mockups for restaurant. Or we're going to say mom and pop restaurants. Pop restaurants. Okay, so here's my mock-ups that I'll start. And I'm going to go to, let's make some of the shapes, okay? So I'm going to do an Instagram mock-up for a restaurant. So that's where I'm going to put it. You can also use the grid. So this grid, oh, that'll cover the whole thing. Excuse me, frame. Frame. Boom. And I'm just going to make up a restaurant, okay? But let me find some food. Ooh, that looks yummy. Okay, so we're gonna go making it happen. We're gonna call it Susan's. Okay. Add some fun stuff in there. So let's say sparkle. Anything you come up with, you can find it, hit free, and then let's see what we can add to it. So, and now with layers, what's fun about layers, so notice that I stuck this graphic on top, but I kind of don't want it on top of that picture. Go to position. You can either go backwards a couple of times and see where it lays, go back to forward if you're like way on top. So then there's that. And then, you know, you do kind of like whatever feels right in your design. Like to me, these are your mock-ups. So it really could be however you want to do it. Okay, now that's a little hard to read. So what I'm going to do is that's my one thing when I'm working with people. I'll say, hey, just make sure that that's easier to read. I know it's, you know, you might feel like, oh, that looked kind of fun, but if it's not easy to read, then you're kind of doing yourself a disservice because they can't connect with it because they can't read it, and that wouldn't be fun. All right, for some reason that's coming out of the square there, but that's okay. Showing you some examples. And this is just on the fly, so this is not. It's all super fun. All right, so we're here. You can kind of start pulling together like different elements, whatever, until you have like one whole flyer of different mock-ups, right? So you can say, hey, here's something that we can look at for a restaurant. You can actually design these from different templates in Canva already as well, and then put it in your mock-up sheet. Okay, so there's different ways to do it. I'm going to move this. I'm going to position it more in front. Oh, it is in front now. Good. So I love Canva because really anything that's in your head, you can kind of push it around. Now, if I want all this to be caps, just hit that caps button. And that's really fun because sometimes, you know, you're kind of thinking, this might look better as a font in caps, but then I don't want to have to keep retyping things, just hit that button. Because then also, if you want to go back, you can go back. So I love this button a lot. Instead of me typing in all caps, because later I might say, what if I want to change it back? This is just so much better as a tool instead of going in that all caps direction. So that way when you don't want it, you're there. And if you want to change the fonts, certain fonts have all caps, and when you're looking at the preview, you can't toggle back and forth. So if it's an already all caps type of logo, font, then you're not going to be able to. So like this one, Anchorage, right? Notice that that's all caps as I move it in there. But if I hit the uncaps button, it's not going to change because that font itself was already made for just being caps. So you can't change that if that's the case. So you'll just have to find one that's both, right? So that one was both. And you can do it that way. All right, let me stop share for a second. Let me check in with Gregor. So far, what kind of questions do you have? Like,
Okay, so I did not know how to do the caps thing. That is new. One thing that I have not been able to master is trying to resize my logo in a circle, and if it's a square or like a graphic, I have not been able to do that. And I don't know if you can. I'm just using the free
I can show you.
version.
Yeah.
So that's one question I have, and then you know, just a broader question about the portfolio. Like I have done, you know, social media and marketing for different businesses, but people, you know, like jobs that I'm looking at are like, oh, you know, I want to see a portfolio, and I'm like, I don't have anything. So would what you're talking about be an example of how to put that together?
Yes, I would start mocking things up from what you remember, and maybe you come up with even better things than before. And I think that's actually pretty fun. But first, let's talk about that resizing. So your issue is you need a logo that fits in a circle?
Yes, like I have a little graphic that was like an old logo, and I don't know how to make it go in a circle. It's only in it's a square, and I've been trying to use the frame, but can't figure out how to do it. And I know you did it in another tutorial, but
it's okay. I'll show you here too, because people need to know that. So this,
okay.
are we turning this into a circle?
Yeah, that was one, and then I have another one that I was working on, but I just didn't know how to.
Okay, so let's say you have a client and they said, go to our Facebook, notice that we have this square thing. Okay, so I'm going to go to options, and as long as there's pages set to do this, I can download the logo by going to options and hitting download. So now it downloads it into my computer. I'm going to go to my templates. So let me go here. And normally for round logo, I'm going to go ahead and start with a square dimension thing. And normally that would be, the logo is already kind of set there. So I'm going to go there, the logo template. Now, when you go to elements, you can find the grid or frames, and go to frames and notice that that's a circle. I'm going to go to uploads, and I'm going to find that, there it is in my downloads. Okay, what I did was, in case I went too fast, this blue bar says upload an image or video. Click that, and then your windows will pop up. So I'm going to find the logo I needed, and it's going to put it in here as a bank of different things that I've uploaded. You can also upload videos. So notice that I have some videos uploaded in there. So that's pretty neat. That's a pretty new thing for Canva, that you can upload videos. So now, when that's fully uploaded, that bar disappears that was on that image. I'm going to take that image and drag it into the circle. Now, does it look like a circle right now? No, because this image back here with the white, and it's a white background, you can't tell. But if I change the background color, notice that it's in there as a circle.
Okay,
now,
maybe is that on the free version, the frames, or maybe it's just on the paid version?
I think if you search under yours, like if you have yours pulled up, go look at elements
Mm-hmm.
and see if you see under frames, if you see that circle. So I'm not sure because I can't look
Okay.
at the free version anymore, but if you have it right now on your computer, you can go ahead and look.
Yeah.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to show you if you're like, okay, well, I like it, but I noticed that the edge of that circle is coming up to that club, which is what I noticed. So I'm going to revert back to a background that I can see it. See how it's like so close to the edge? If I double click, that's all the room I had with that logo. Now, what I can do is add a thicker circle. I'm going to use white to thicken up that circle. I'm going to circle around and position it behind, so backwards. And to me, that looks like a better circle here. Okay, so I'm going to delete the background, and it's going to save with these with the two things in the background will be transparent if I choose. I'm going to give it a name. Let's say Curlew Club Circle logo with transparent. That way when I find it later, I can look up those terms. If I go to download, PNGs allow you to have a transparent background. So I'm going to click that and then hit download. So that's going to download here. Now, if I want to check, say, hey, did that really save as a transparent background? Well, I'm going to check. I'm going to delete these, change this background. Well, let's be funny. Let's be cool. All right, let's change it to like something. Maybe Curlew's going to have these sparkly things to eat. So let's put that here. Yay, come to our next party. I'm going to upload that new logo that I downloaded. I'm going to upload, and there's, if I actually put my mouse over, you can kind of see the transparent background already, but hit open. So now there it is. It's not as like skinny on the circle. I can drag that into my file, and look, the background is not there. It's a transparent circle background. So I can put it at different places. I can tilt it, whatever I need to do. And that's how I save the transparent background. That's also how I fixed it, because look, if I go from just this logo here, and if I use the elements frame, and before I fixed it, what was happening with that particular logo, it was so tight near the C and the B. So if you compare the two, the one that we resaved with that kind of thicker white border looks to me better, instead of like, it looks more balanced. So I'm going to delete that one there. And then expand on it. And boom, you got your transparent Curly Club thing. So now, if you're like, oh, I did this work for a friend, took me just a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and send it to her. So there's Breggers. I'm going to attach it. So hit your, in Facebook, there's the add files button, and it should pull up your stuff. So here's the one that has a transparent. Click open, and it's there. If you hit send, she now has the new logo. So then you can say, use for your materials. Okay, so it's way cool, yay, all right. So that's one way to fix it. Now, where else were you having trouble with a circle logo?
Just another little old logo that I was working with that I had uploaded as a square, and I couldn't figure out how to make it into a circle.
Okay, so did this help? Do you think you can apply the same thing with what I just did to that same logo, or do you think that it's a little different?
No, I think it's the same.
Okay, so anytime you make something that you want to also have a transparent background, make sure there is no I mean, it's going to look white, but make sure there is no background when you do it. So right now this has a background. So I can't save this as a transparency. Like if I go here, download PNG transparent background, it's not going to do anything. Okay? Because I already have a background there. Now if I delete this, technically there's no background. It looks white, but as long as you kind of delete, and then there's no background. So that would give you that transparency. So if you compare these two things that are uploaded, one is a square and then this one is a circle, but you see that it's transparent because you see the gray that's behind it. So that's all I'm saying is make sure that, because if I add white to it, it really also wouldn't save it as a transparent background, although it looks white, right? So I have to make sure hitting delete a couple of times just so I know there's no other background behind it, especially if it's white on white. If this was like a different color or had a different circle in here, then it would be more obvious because this particular logo has white, then that's what's going on. So if I save this image right now.
So our shapes and frames are the same function?
No, you can't nest a photo in the shapes. So
Okay.
if I drag this photo in here, it's just there. If it's an element of a frame, I can put, like, let's say I want to do a border around a circle. I start with one circle, then I put another frame in there, a frame of a circle. And now if I drag that in there, see, it creates that border.
Okay, and then like for the circle, can you change the color of that or?
Yeah, so I just click there, find the choices that I have, and then that's where I can click it.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. I mean, I know that there's lots of people who get intimidated by technology and even things like this. But if you're still on the free version and you're starting to do a lot more, I would say now's probably the time to invest in the paid version. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, suggested areas of focus too. I put daycare, children's services. I'm gonna say baby boomers. Okay, because they're the ones who's like, or I'm going to put scared of technology. There are so many people who want to get things done, but they're just scared of it, and they want somebody who can speak to them and help them in these different areas, especially in marketing. So you can start a marketing firm just in helping baby boomers with their business. It's pretty awesome. Or people who've just done it so long one way, they're like, I just have no concept. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Canva, what? I mean, that's not something I'm willing to go and learn and, but I'll pay you to do it for me. They say that a lot. Now, what happens if you save a transparency that's also transparent in itself? It will remain with some transparency, sometimes yes, sometimes no. So that's something you'd want to experiment with. So at this point, it really just depends on like what you're looking at. But I know in certain softwares, it'll give you that more like layered transparency. Like right now, this is transparent, not just light pink, it's transparent. So I'm going to experiment with that right now. So let's make it a little bigger so we can play with it here in a second. So it's not a solid pink. This is a transparent pink. So I'm going to go transparent. Let's go with 33. I'm going to download that. We're going to say mock transparent. I'm going to download that PNG, hit transparent background, download, and then boom, it's in there now. Now I'm going to upload it. And we're going to see just how transparent that other part is. So it's already looking pretty good because see how it's kind of purple because it's seeing what's behind it. I'm going to go ahead and delete just so I really know what it's doing. Let's find a random picture. Okay. Coffee. Okay. Coffee cup. Expand you a little bit so you're here. You place that logo inside the coffee cup. Go to uploads, click it. Oh, it is transparent. See it? So instead of it being just a pink, like I'm not using didn't use a light pink, I made it transparent pink. See that it's transparent now. So when you're doing that, just keep that in mind. If you made something transparent and forgot, and it looks just pink to you, when you go to save it as transparent, you might see that, oh, it is transparent, you know? So, but see how it looks light pink there without that background. Let's try something else. So let's say we'll just look for water. So there's water. If I drag it, see it? Transparent. So I think that's pretty cool in some logos to have some transparencies inside the logo. So as you kind of layer it on different things, it looks to me a little cooler. Looks really cool. Now let's say you're like, oh, I like that, but that water is just so blue. There's different filters in Canva, which is kind of fun. I don't know if you noticed that was very subtle, but if I go back and forth between the two, do undo, you can kind of see it. There's also a way to change, instead of just the filters, you can do adjustments. So I can make it brighter or darker, change the contrast, saturation.
Okay, so you just click on the background and then change those things?
Yeah, so look, I can even blur it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And then make it super sharp. So you go to adjust. That if you have an image, you can adjust. You have to have an image.
Okay.
So let's say we like this water, but I'm like, ooh, I want to turn it black and white. Go to adjust, pull down saturation. You're like, I want to make it super colorful. There you go. Okay. Now you're like dragging it around, different shapes. Cool. If you're like, ooh, I just want something to blur. Sometimes I'll pick images that I can just make look good as a blur. And then it gives me kind of fun backgrounds. Isn't that fun? So many things to learn. Again, my whole goal is I'm always showing you tips and tricks and trying to kind of have a conversation about, well, what if you made money off of this? Well, why not, right? Why can't you?
I looked up the paid version. It's only $120
for the
a
year.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. So meaning one assignment can earn you $120 right there, and you've already paid for your Canva. So let's keep hunting around, because this part we'll keep learning, and there's so many things that we can keep working on together and showing stuff. But as far as, all right, let's go back to building your portfolio in a week. We said mockups. We said we can also, fix different issues for people who have a background and stuff. So you can kind of showcase before and after mockups. What's great about before and after mockups is just like getting a makeover, right? Most people are like, I know I already have some stuff, but is it really the best looking thing? So I'm going to ungroup all this because I don't need this bottom part. So I'm just going to select it all as a group and then hit the trash can, which is delete, and then boom, it's gone. Okay, instead of me trying to delete each one, I can group delete different things. So showcase before, after mockups, like the resume, right? So you can go and like search for resume and find somebody's resume and then revamp it. I can also look at let's just say posters. So we'll just say, how about ugly posters? Ugly poster designs. Okay, so there's some. I think these are kind of fun. I guess they were making it. No, they're pretty cute. You know where I really see stuff? It's probably not in here. People aren't going to label their own stuff ugly, right? They wouldn't do that. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to say events near me. Those are people who use posters. And we'll check it out. So this is let's see. So listing pages gives you tons of people who are trying to put stuff together. So let's talk about indoor activities. So that's Princess for a Day. That looks cute. A little hard to read on that one. Photo not available. Why not? Okay. Youth Day celebration. That's nice for churches. Might need stuff. Canceled. All right. Free Poker Thursday. This is fun. Okay, they don't have a poster, but let's say you're just kind of looking for things to grab, to challenge yourself. So you can say, all right, well, I'm going to make a poster for free poker. Or free poker. Okay, all I'm doing here in this one thing will say, hold up. So I'm going to say graphic publishing income. All right, so that file's been labeled. Now notice that these two pages, I didn't have page 2 before. What I did was hit add a new page, and in your document in Canva, it adds a new blank page. But it actually goes by what you kind of did before, since that had a white background, it's going to add another page with a white background. If I change this background, and let's say it's this coral color, if I hit add new page, it'll kind of mimic that same one. See, so you can start kind of giving yourself some consistency if that's the case. If I hit delete, and there it is, it's deleted. I'm going to delete that background for now. Okay, what did I see? Well, I saw a free poker thing. I'm going to add a heading and keep it black for now. I can change it later. Drag it where I think a heading should go. I'm going to grab this and say free poker Thursday. Go back, double click. I'm hitting Control V to put it in there, okay? So some of the stuff here, I want to put the location. So let's say you used to work for a store or an event place, and you're like, you know, I need to kind of show that what I can do and I'm good at. So I'm going to start kind of like not having to like, oh, what should I put on here? Find something that's already existing and play with it, right? So if you say, hey, if I had to help this business, what would it be? Okay, so let's go to elements now. I'm going to look for photos. I'm sorry, look for photos. I'm going to put poker. Bam. So there's all these poker images already. So I love this one here. It's pretty cool. Free Poker Thursday. Let's drag it around here. Let's make it a little bit bigger now. So it already did a lot of the work for me, having a really cool image, right? So let's see if there's anything that says poker for fonts. Just to kind of say, hey, I just want to mix it up, right? Because you always see the same.
What about Vegas?
Ooh, Vegas. Kinda. Let's see. That one I found, Podkova extra bold, looked manly. So you can also, but it's just, you know, for me, I'm like just poking around and see. Let's do something. Ooh, yeah, that yellow really stands out. And then set the boulevard and grill. Let's make that a different color. Maybe white is fine. Yeah, easy to see. Okay, and then that thing about gift certificate and more, we'll put it here. Let's make that white as well. And then you can say, all right, see, that's already shaping up, right? If I click.
A lot better than what they had, which was just a picture.
Yes. So now I'm going to match that green, because then I'm going to kind of use the thing here on the table. So click here, find the green area, and then it's nice. You can kind of like move it around and see which one's just the better match. That looks pretty good. And so it's already come into play, and now I'm going to go back to that event, grab the description. I'm going to save the website part because I want that to stand out. Okay, so I copied all that. I think I copied it. Yeah, copied it. Go here, hit the text button. Now I'm just going to use the smaller text font, expand it a little bit, double click till it's all there. Control V puts it there. Okay. I'm going to make it so that the alignment is on the left. So up here, if I click, it changed the alignment. Okay, so a little bit rambly. Boulevard Grill every Thursday, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I want to single that part out. That's pretty cool. All right, so hit enter a few times, just kind of single that out. The whole goal is, can people easily read this stuff and really know what they're getting into? So I always divvy up some people's. Oops. All right, so it's good to have space in between certain things when you're reading it, and that's what I'm really trying to create here. What's great too is that you can highlight just certain sections and turn them bold. I like it here. I just want to make it less green now, so I'm going to do a layer, an element layer. Oh, that's kind of fun that we had before. Oh, no, I'm gonna, no, we won't go there. Okay. Change your mind. You're more than welcome. All right, shapes. Let's go to shapes. I'm gonna redo this shape. I'm gonna make it dark because it pulls from that top part more. I'm gonna make it a little transparent so it kind of blends that green. Hit the position button, go backwards. Okay, so that's easier to read there. What I like with aesthetics these days, if you layer different things, it looks better. So I'm going to go to elements, and I'm going to hit poker in elements and hit free because I always want to just do the free. I like this dice, or these cards are fun. So like queen, change it around. And now notice this graphic. It gave me color blocks up here. That means I'm allowed to change the colors of that particular graphic, and it's pretty awesome that you can do that. So let's say I'm like, oh, kind of liking it, but it's too muted of colors. So instead of that brown, I'm going to make it pop with a yellow. So notice as I click that yellow, it changed the whole logo. I mean the image. So if I go back to brown, that's what it looks like with brown. If I click, boom, yellow, looks different. So it's going to pick up a little bit more of the yellows that I did from before. Now, what you're seeing me select the two things here. I'm going to drag it over. That way I make room for this little card here. Tilting stuff looks cool. I like this poker chip. It looks fun. Again, look, it's giving me color options. See, already it's more pleasing to the eye when different things are happening. And then here's a set of cards. Oop. Oh, undo. Yeah. Sometimes you have to just kind of be patient and grab all the stuff that you need, because especially once you start getting enough layers on here, you gotta find which one. All right, so that looks good. And that last part was, for more information, visit this website. And that's always something you want to stand out with. I'm going to copy this by hitting duplicate and dragging that over. Double click, copy paste, and then I'm going to move that a line over. That looks nice. And then Yeah, I don't need all that for a poster. You just need them to like be aware, ooh, that's fun, right? So the poster itself is not a brochure. So make sure you don't go, like that could add more of these things, but I don't need to, but I definitely want to add where the address is. Since they already have what is that? URL. They can look for other stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna grab and duplicate another one, double click so that I can take that. This old font is that glacial one, so I'm gonna go here, change the font, find my glacial one here, undo the bold, make it smaller, stretch it out, and then that's gonna be the bottom footer looking thing. Let me adjust it just a little bit. Okay, so centering it using the snaps. Center, I'm looking for you. There it is. It's faint. I see it a little bit, so there it is. Okay, so now that's nice and centered. So that's a pretty fun poster that we just whipped.
Great. I would make me want to go, and I don't even play poker.
Play poker. But if I was to show this mock-up, right? If I save just this, so if I'm like, ooh, I just want to save this. What you do is under download, save it as a PNG, select which page. I want to pick, since that's page 2, hit done and download. So what's great is that I don't always have to start a new set in Canva. I can keep one set in the same spot and create different looks in this one thing and just save the pages that I need. So I can even save that as a PDF, whatever I need to. Now if I go here, there's their email, right? There's the contact name. I can say, hey, Dell, I created, here, we'll do it right now. What? Are you serious? Okay, what is this? So they're doing this, and it's a 908. I don't even know what that is. We're not even in the same state. This is New Jersey, okay? So this is happening this month. Okay, cool. Free poker. I'm gonna hit that. Wait, hold up. Select it. Let me go to my email. It's my husband's email popping up. Okay, so I'm going to go to my email, compose a new one, make it bigger. All right, so we're here. Subject. So we'll just say free poster that you might want. Oh, free poster for your event. Hi, and let's see the name.
Del.
Hi, Del Perez. Hi, Del Perez. Let's copy paste it. Let's retype it. You're like, oh my gosh, that makes me nervous. Like I know certain people that now would be saying that to me in my head. You're just typing, you're just emailing someone random. Yes. And I'm not going to forget the attachment, so I'm going to do that now. So here you go. Boom. Hi, Del Perez. I hope you are doing well. I am a graphic designer and publisher who is currently teaching courses on how to create stunning marketing materials for events, businesses, and brands. I have to keep moving my little video of me. Okay, businesses and brands. During class, we randomly looked at sites and picked your event as a sample to do a mock-up. I have attached the result of the lesson, which is a poster created by me using the information on your event page. And I'm gonna go ahead and send them the link because they're like, what event page? Because sometimes people's stuff gets indexed by these free event sites, and they're gonna be like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Let's say source link. Okay, so I didn't go in your computer. I didn't, tap into your, whatever database. Like, I want people to know that I didn't get it from some creepy way. Here's the source link. I hope you like it. Like the poster. I don't know why that's a different font. You're like, hey, Marilen, how do I keep my fonts consistent in Google? Well, I'll show you. So sans serif, normal, there, snap it all. Okay, good. Hope you like the poster. Feel free to use it. For your events. No credit needed. Just fun gift. Just a fun gift. From us, from me. Okay. Sincerely. Now for you, if it's a lead-in into possible work, you can say, I love doing these. I did this mock-up for my portfolio for free. I hope you don't mind. Since you're the lucky one that I chose, I'm going to give you this poster for free. If you need anything, feel free to reach out. I might say that. If you have any questions, or I don't like putting concerns, please let me know. I hope you have a successful set of events. Sincerely. And you never know, people might be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Thank you for doing that. Sincerely, Marilen Crump, info@marilencrump.com. Or be like, who is this girl? How often do they get things like this, right? So I think it's pretty interesting. So it's already attached, right? There it is. Graphic publishing income. Was just, that's fine because they're going to see that. Oops, I re-downloaded it. Pardon me. Excuse me. Oh. Phew, excuse me. I felt that coming. All right. If you do that accidentally, just click here, delete, and it goes to recycle bin. Okay, so let's close that. Boom. All right, we're hitting send. Bam, sent. Awesome. Pretty cool, huh? So just like that, I created a mock-up, made someone's day, and now, it's here. Now, what I'm going to do is, for the mock-up, I'm going to hit, what I did was I copied the screen, because I'm going to go back to here, add a new page, delete that. I'm going to paste it. Now, you can paste things that you've screenshotted in, but you have to hit Control V, into Canva. So notice there it is. The screenshot of my window is there. I'm going to hit 100%. Okay, I'm going to trim it up a little bit to where their original stuff was. I don't need all the other excess stuff. Hit done. All right, so this is going to be my before-after comparison that we were just talking about. So now that I have that other, I'm going to say here's from a registration site before, make that smaller. I like tilting things. All right, so then I'm going to go to uploads, uploading that poster I just made. Clicking that. And there's my comparison study. You know, so we go from this to that. Let's not tilt that. So isn't that fun? So this is, so you can kind of start collecting, like, here's some before afters. Like, this is what it was before. It was just an event site. So I can tell people, look, go ahead and whip up your event site. That way all the information is already there for me. And then all I'm going to do is like create from there. All right. So it's pretty fun. And then in your portfolio, you say, hey, here's what it looked like before, and here's what it looked like after. But you're like, Marilen, that's cut off. Doesn't matter. I mean, they can get the gist, and you can, again, find the source file and put it in there. So now let's do some calculations, because we were saying, how do I turn this into a cash flow generating thing? So to me, a poster, all right, I'm going to do some pricing guides here at this next section. How to price your work. And group all those so we can see what we're doing here. All right. Delete that. Bring this bullet point up here. I'm going to go ahead, highlight all that, turn it into a bullet point. So how to price your work. If you do an hourly rate, normally those start at around like $15 to up to $65 an hour, depending on like how bold you are in asking, and then how convincing you are in making that sale. Okay, so you can do it that way. Now, if you do it per thing, let's say if you wanted to do a poster, you might say, in people's mind, it might take you like 2 hours for a poster. So you can say, okay, $30. Well, in reality, it took us what? Less than 10 minutes messing around with it. So how would you like to earn $30 for 10 minutes? So I think that would be kind of fun. $3 a minute. Okay, so poster, to me, business card. This business card may take a little bit longer to design that. I would start that at somewhere like 65, because people are going to be like, well, this is my business card. I only want to print it once, and there'll be thousands of copies. So they're not going to be as like easygoing with like a poster that just happens once. You know, I just find that that's kind of the deal sometimes. Let's say poster 30 to 65. For Facebook site, just to kind of, let's say a Facebook cover, I would sell it like as a seasonal pack. I mean, that's what I would think would be fun, but you can kind of say, I'll do that for 35 to about, again, 65 is the highest range that I would go, especially if you're just starting out, for different things. Now, if you decide I want to help someone with their social media, to be their kind of like go-to person, so you can say kind of like social media management, I think you can get them enrolled between like 150 to 300 a month. And then it's up to you what you would include in it. What I would include in it would be like every month there's a whole new set of stuff that can be produced. And so your whole goal is maybe like I like numbers that are clean. So I would do like a 20 to 30 image set per month. So technically they're paying like if it's 300, they're paying like $10 a day for that kind of thing. And then less than that if it's something else. Now you could say, I'm going to start you with an image set, and you can only hire me every quarter. That's fine. right? It's really how you negotiate. So the whole part of this being an empowerment for women, learning all these skill sets that I'm showing you, is that you're going to be more confident and bold in putting yourself out there, in knowing what you can do for people. So don't sell yourself short. To me, this is much better. I don't have to commute anywhere. I don't have to have someone tell me when I should finish stuff, when I should get started. I like the freedom of being an entrepreneur. And in this kind of sense, yes, you can definitely get yourself started just by being confident that you have the skill sets to do it. And then practice. Like, I'm not telling you go right now and do it right away. I'm telling you start with these mock-ups. So you got to build your portfolio in a week. I'm going to duplicate this part, and I'm going to say create a pricing guide. And remember, I'm already showing you a little bit here. Another thing you can do is practice selling. Practice selling your services. Okay. I would create, I would also need to know how you're going to do the transaction. So one point here that I'm adding is, what is your point of sale? And it could be something as easy as PayPal, okay? So I'm going to say point of sale. I'm going to put in parentheses either Square, PayPal, or, you know, Cash App, Stripe, or invoice if you have an electronic invoice. If it's just, you know, I think nowadays people are fine with paying with their credit card and online. So really trying to do cash transactions or check transactions is just so much more tedious, and it actually slows down the process of getting more income in your in what you need to have. So here it is. Here, I put the points all in here, how to start making money from it. What would be kind of a fun goal for yourself during each month? Kind of say, hey, just a starting goal. Try to earn like 500 a month from doing stuff like this. I mean, for some people, that's a car payment. That's their electricity bill. That's really cool. And say, hey, for really part-time, let me see if I can make a starting goal of 500 a month. If you're really kind of going more full-time with this, I'd say why not make your goal about like at least 2,500 a month or more. It's really up to you. And then if you wanted to even teach some of this stuff, you know, teaching some graphic design, some design work, I would start at like 50 to 100 an hour. That one's technically hourly rates because of just the way it's set up. Because you're not teaching all the time, too. It's hard to say I'm going to be a full-time teacher unless you create something like that, like as a studio or something. You can totally do that. Let me get rid of these other things I don't need. Lesson recap. So today, here's what I taught you. So how to use Canva, and walk through different design elements. Also showed you how to find graphics that you can revamp, what type of customers you can work with, how to make income from publishing. So now at the same time, I've already kind of laid out like a little fun sheet for this class, which I can then post in our lesson later. I'm gonna pull them up a little bit. Again, I love alignment stuff. And I'm going to put a your notes here section. So that way if you end up printing some of these things out. So I'm going to hit elements, close that out. If you're seeing the old elements you search for, it's because you just need to X out of it. And then you're coming back to your main screen here. Adding a little rectangle, resizing that. Change the color, make it transparent. Ungroup that, borrow from this, duplicate it, drag it over. I'm going to say your notes here. Now I'm going to save this as a PDF. Standard or print? Well, to me, if it's going to be like really detailed, I'll use print, but it'll be like a higher file size. Standard usually works just fine. Only want to give that first page and then download. And then there we have it. So what's great about the community, if you ever think about building your own community for different things, you can work on fun things like this. Let's say I want to give it that Female Income Academy branding. I'm going to go to Uploads, find the logo that I have, which is that. Oh, wait a minute. Logo is somewhere. I have so many logos now. There we go. Throw it here. Was not in the very bottom. There we are. So that's there. And let's make it more ladylike up there. Let's go to photos. We'll put laptop. Yeah, no, that's fine. Duplicate. Here's what I'm going to do to make it easier to read again. We're going to go here. I'm going to make it a white transparent background. Hit the position, oops, position it so that it's behind those things. Not all behind. There we are. Change the transparency. Ta-da. There. Much better. Fits my stuff better. Okay, so now I'm just going to re-download that. Standard. Find the page, or else it's going to combine it all together, which is fine if that's what you're trying to do, but for this one I'm not. So let me download that. So now we're going to go into the Female Income Academy and show you how to actually put that stuff in there. So we're here. I'm going to go to topics. So if you're looking for this class, it's under topics. Now it's going to be in the library. So I'm going to go to, you know what? Actually, before I do that, let's go back one. Because it was upcoming, so there it is. In Mighty Networks, I can change the topic. So I'm going to go to edit. So instead of it being upcoming, it's now going to be in the course library. So now that's updated there. If I hit save, it's actually not going to appear anymore where it was. So now I'm going to go back. If I hit refresh under upcoming topics, it's not there anymore. Because now if I go back to topics, since I changed where it is, it's going to be in the courses and workshops library now. So isn't that fun that I don't really have to do anything? It's already there. I'm going to click here. I'm going to add that. So this workshop will be held on Zoom. Well, I won't need that part. So I'm going to edit that out. once I'm done with this from my Zoom, it will be available as a download. So once I download that, I'm going to post it in YouTube, grab the unlisted link from YouTube, nest it in here, and that's how we'll have it. Now, if I want to add like a form to go with it, here you can insert different things. I'm going to go insert file. That last file was the newest one, so I add that. So now it's in there. I hit save. When you all need to access that form, it's right here. And once I'm done with this video, and like I said, upload it in YouTube, grab the link and put it in here, you'll see a video link, just like you do for the other classes. So now if you go under effective budgeting for business, you'll see that that video is there. Isn't that cool? And that's pretty much it. All right, did you find the lesson informative, Gregor? And any questions?
Yeah, I've been using Canva for about 5 months since you introduced me to it. I feel like it definitely gets easier to learn. I'm easier to use the more I use it, if that makes sense. Like I'm getting faster. Yeah. I'm still not, doing things as quickly as you are doing them, but I got a lot of tips today in terms of, clarifying some of the, how to clarify the visual elements and presentation of some of the things I've already created, especially using the transparency. I feel like that was super helpful. So, and just seeing you go through all the elements live, like that just gives me a lot of ideas too. So.
Yeah, so it's like you get to be in my head for a second.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like adding it to your income streams, what do you think of that idea?
Well, I've always done graphic design as part of a job. I've never actually charged for it. Even in my first little job out of college, I was a marketing assistant at a bank, and I did a lot of graphic design using, whatever I don't remember the name of the software. But I've always thought that because I'm not like trained or know how to use like more complex programs, that it wouldn't be something that I could do for money. So this gave me a lot of, confidence and also ideas for how to monetize, that work, because it really is fun to do.
It is.
And I think anyone who just has like even a basic aesthetic.
That's right.
Which I definitely have, could really have some fun creating money, with that. But I've never monetized it.
Yeah, and I would say what would be simplest for anybody watching this is just use your name. So when people think of things, they go, oh, I need to contact Gregor, or I need to contact Marilen. Like, it doesn't have to be that you have to come up with your own logo name. It just gets too mixed up out there. So I would say, Gregor Pickrell, owner of Curlew Club, also a graphic publisher, right? And so if they're already seeing some of your aesthetics because of your other business, I think it'd be kind of fun. And you can say, hey, I have a friend, she has a shop, she does this and that. I'm going to see if, she would just let me do a mock-up for her so that I can get a testimonial. So you can say, hey, friend, I know that you run a shop. You're already good at your graphics and things like that. I don't want to say that you're not. I'm just saying that I'm building a portfolio for myself because I really love doing this. So would you let me do your next banner, or can I mock something up for the holidays for you so that I can put it in my portfolio? And in return, would you be willing to give me a testimonial and how you found my services and what you think of my work? So that's always a welcome way to get business. And I think sometimes, we get shy as far as asking people, but there's people who's going to be willing to help you and let you, at least take a try at it. And it's not like they're paying for it, so you don't feel like, oh no, if I mess it up, it's not a good thing. To me, it's like if you find yourself like, okay, I'm going to try it and I'm not as fast as Marilen. Look, I'm showing this to you because this is years of doing this. I want people to say, I'm willing to keep watching this video, I'm willing to play, and I'm going to see what I can create in my life. So maybe in 2 months, I can feel comfortable in asking a friend to do their marketing stuff. But then if you say, hey, I'm really get the hang of this, I can go ahead and see where I can, make a couple of things happen for myself. So, you know, and then share what you're learning here with other females. My whole point is you're seeing how this is very kind of, it's an easy flow. There's good information here. I'm sure that you'll meet friends here and there, make different contacts and say, or meet other stay-at-home moms, stuff like that. You can say, hey, you know, would you just like to, you know, poke around in Marilen's site and see if there's anything that's interesting to you for, you know, for earning some income while you're at home or while your kids are at school, things like that. So please share and share and share and share what the mission is. And I really appreciate you tuning in. So whether you're tuning in live or watching the replay, thanks so much. And I guess I'll see you guys again later. So thanks, Gregor, for being here. I appreciate you.
Thanks for that clarity.
Absolutely. All right, till next time, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.